pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for attending tonight's meeting, October 20th. Let's see, we did our little introductions, which was good. Start is normal comments on any agenda items. Anybody has any questions on anything? No one having any hands raised. We'll jump into the announcements and just updates in general. Would you like to give the one for Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh tanks, so we had our two big tanks inspected. That is supposed to be done every 5 years. We do not know when the last time the tanks were inspected. We have not been able to get our hands on any paperwork. So the work on Clinton Drive, I'm just going to go over what the critical problems were. Critical problems were the seams need to be welded inside, epoxy liner applied that adheres to requirements. It needs to have the interior dry cleaned and remove sediment, and it needs to replace the existing vent with a vacuum pressure frost-proof vent. And there's a whole bunch more work that is OSHA work, scope of deficiencies, and just to repair that one tank alone, we got an estimate of $530,900, and that's the one on Clinton Drive. They also did an inspection on Von Trapp Court, those tanks over there. The critical work for that one, again, includes sandblasting the interior, applying a sealant on it with a low VOC on it, and that it's required for FDA and food contact. This coating would be applied to the floor and shell of the tank and perform a dry interior clean out and remove the sediment at the bottom of the tank. There's also work that is required for OSHA. There are deficiencies in that tank. It also needs preventative work, and the sum to repair and fix and upgrade that tank to current standards is $465,560. If anybody would like a copy of this report, please feel free to email me, and I'll be happy to share it with you.
Yeah. Just add to that, totals anyway, for the critical stuff that Susan is talking about, the major price of the cleaning of the tank, etc., is $382,000. And the other, that's actually the Price Crossing tank. We have the addresses on track. And the other tank that we have on Clinton Drive, the main portion of the sandblasting and all that good stuff that Susan just explained was $362,400. So, to our surprise, obviously this is a huge list and obviously a very important thing because it maintains our two main and only towers that we have. So maintenance will need to be performed at some point, and we're going to start to work on the financing, and then when we get close enough to really understand the cost, we'll be going out to bid. So hopefully we can find other companies that will, give quality work but be less than what we're talking about here. So we'll keep you updated as that process happens, and we'll be probably looking at springtime and having some firmer numbers, those types of things. Okay.
How does that work with service? Does water service go down while the unit's repair, or how does that work?
You empty one tank, and like we did.
Like the one on Flint, there's one tank out there, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
and the other tank, the sister tank is Price Crossing.
Okay.
We had, at one point, you had Clinton and you had Tower Hill, but that tank was very, very small in comparison to the 35,000 gallons of water that these tanks actually hold. So during that process, we obviously dismantled that tank while we were building the new tank that's on Pride's Crossing. And they both hold, and they're about the same level, so that balances out the water system in general. And they're both 835,000 gallons of water each. So what would happen, you empty one, and then you would do all of that work, which they think they were in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 weeks. And then, once that work is done, you could fill it up and empty the other one and bring it across. And of course, we'll be either looking for grants or other mechanisms that makes up this $1 million, $996,000 at the end of the day, so, yeah. So we'll be on top of the priority list for sure. Any comments from the board, anything? Okay, so for North Street, road work, curb work between 94 and Avon Boulevard has been completed. We have had a little bit of a delay because we've been having issues identifying the water main valves to be able to shut the water off and on between Ahern and 94. So we're going to continue to do, we have a company coming in, we're waiting on their proposal, but it's an underground sonar X-ray, whatever you want to call it, that identifies all the piping underground. It can tell you if water is running through the pipe. Because right now, the valves that we're turning off along the street, at the top of the street, the bottom of the street, is not affecting the water that's coming out of the fire hydrant. So the water just, the valves that we're dealing with have no effect. So we need to do our homework and get that done before we'll obviously pave. So the paving at this point, since the plants will probably be closing around Thanksgiving, and by the time we get all these surveys done and we start to do our investigative work, we'll be paving in the springtime. The real bad areas of North Street that are really bumpy, we're planning on going out and probably grinding them down with our machines and putting a nice skim coat across it to make it a little bit easier on the vehicles and so forth that we've been waiting to until we can get this thing paved. And the plan right now is the paving is going to be from 94 up to Decker. And drainage work will commence probably tomorrow between Avon Boulevard and Decker Drive, or at least up to Taft School, because that's where the drainage stops. And those pipes will be replaced within, starting tomorrow, and it probably would take 2 weeks to get that done as our estimate. And then they'll pave over it like they did on the lower section of North Street, and we'll be prepared and ready to go for paving once we figure out our water valve situation on the lower part of North Street.
During that drainage work, are they gonna shut it down again?
Yes. Yeah, we've spoken to the school, Ralph from the transportation group, and we've given them, our timelines and what we're doing, and he's gonna reroute the buses how he feels necessary. We've talked to the school, their busiest time is between 8 and 9 and 2 and 3, so we won't be doing anything across the driveway entrances between that one entrance or the horseshoe where the buses come in and the buses leave. That third driveway entrance is really for the teachers and dropping off kids. That won't be affected by anything.
So we're not gonna close it at 94, right?
We're gonna be closing it, well, when we do the survey, when this company does a survey, we're gonna shut the road down.
Yeah, but for the drainage.
But for the drainage, we're gonna probably keep the bottom open, and then they can do their reroutes through Woodfield and or Ballard Pond Road to get up to Ahern, et cetera, or to Decker.
That's where they're working on.
Yeah, so that's the plan as of the moment. We'll keep you updated on that. On or about November 5th, we'll be paving Bristol and Potomac Courts, Puritan Lane. All three of those roads ended up having curb work and driveway apron work done. A number of people have indicated they want to get their driveways paved, but their aprons were in terrible shape. And so we went after, and Bristol and Potomac their roads were absolutely horrible to the point that you could see dirt and gravel where the asphalt was just basically gone. So that'll be going on around the 5th, and Michelle will need to do code red messages and do some mailings, your favorite subject. So that's where we are with that. Witchingtonville before and after dark recap. I know the committee is here, I don't know if you, to impose on you, if you wanted to give an update on the after dark and before, if you'd like to take the show.
Absolutely.
Okay.
First, I want to thank you, Maggie Demento and the village board, for always supporting our events. I want to thank some of our fellow committee members that are here tonight. They put in a lot of hours. They sacrifice their families, their businesses. Some of us have disabilities. We're out there going on tears and working hard. Both events were complete successes. We had thousands of people in the villages. Many businesses participated. We had great sponsorships. And we had a Before Dark postponement that was on Sunday, another successful event. Thousands of kids. We had a lot of candy sold, a lot of crafters.
My two grandkids loved it, thank you.
We're all a little tired right now, but I just want to thank the support we got from this village and the fellow businesses and all the new people coming into this village. I really think these events are making a difference in the village.
Yep.
And I'm proud of my committee, and I'm just glad to work with you guys.
Thank you very much. We feel the same way, because seeing that many people is just amazing, and it continues to grow. So that's, in itself just shows how hard everybody works and the popularity of it and what it does for the community and outside our community. So the word spreads in these magazines that we go through. I mean, we're on top of the list for Witchingtonville. We were voted best. I'll give you a plug. You were voted best for your apple cider donuts in the Hudson Valley. So, we got a lot of good things
Washington
going
was
on.
voted as the village to explore by Hudson Valley Magazine,
Yeah.
which is a great achievement, because we're going up against some big villages there.
Yeah. And we're really mighty at 2.5 square miles. Get out of our way.
Well, continue sitting out for after dark.
Yeah.
That being said, I was not at the last meeting. I was told that some people in this room do have concerns with our events, and if they want to address it, half of our committee's here tonight, I welcome that.
Okay. I wasn't here, so I would just say if there's anyone in the audience that wanted to address anything with the events committee, here's your opportunity. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Again,
so-
great job, guys, really,
Thank you.
across the board. Let's see. And I've also put a plug in here for our DPW and our police departments. Those guys, all of them, just, they really do a great job, and I hate to say it's almost automatic now, but it's almost automatic now. That we know where to go, we know what to do, the mapping, the whole organizational stuff that you guys do is tremendous. So kudos to our PD and DPW. High Grove, we've been talking about this for several months, even probably a year now. But the High Grove well pump test was performed today. I heard they were pumping somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 to 70 gallons per minute. So that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 and maybe 85,000 gallons of water, and it pretty much matches what's going on at the fireman's well. So we're pretty happy about those results. We do have a second well at that location that was supposed to be, well, it was a better producing well, but it was bringing siltation up from the water. It was like muddy water, dirty water, call it whatever. So we might, take a look at that as well and test that well, since it's been, good Lord, I think that development's been there 20 years now, so it's probably been in that neighborhood when those wells were put in. And maybe the conditions have changed so we can get good volume, but maybe not the mud. So we'll see what we can get with that. So as soon as we get their written report, we'll share that with everybody. Next, we had the Village Hall. The structural engineers came in on Friday, to do their survey of the second floor. They were here all afternoon, or pretty much all day.
All day, but they came back around 9 in the
And
morning.
in the morning, right? So we'll get their report and also share that with you and let you know, out of the 6,000 square feet that's above us, what is possibly usable and what maybe is not usable. So we'll get that information, we'll share that as well. The hydrant flushing is on hold, just due to the lack of rain and so forth. Wells today are at 27 feet 2 inches. They actually came up 5 inches, so we gained 5 inches of rainwater over the last several week or so with the recent rains that we've had. So that's a positive sign there. If the situation gets worse, we are prepared to bring the Spindler wells online. We're in contact with DOH, and all we need to do is just send them an email, and we're able to use this, get those wells up and running within probably 4 hours if we needed it. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully it rains a little bit more. One of the things we've been talking about too with our MS4, which is stormwater management, is our catch basin maintenance. So that process has been going on. I know we did talk about it briefly over the last few meetings or so, but maintenance is being done across the board, and mainly where we're doing work. Cul-de-sacs that we've been doing, we're touching all of that stuff. We're working on the valves. 94, all the catch basins have been done. They'll be done all the way up to Taft. We'll also be jumping when we're done with that, or we're kind of done with that anyway, but we have other little priorities going on, cleaning up some other stuff. We'll be jumping over to Tower Hill. That was one of the roads that we proposed to pave, but unfortunately, timing and a little bit of money, we're not able to pave that this year. We want to get the drainage work in place and take care of some of the drainage work that's actually in the road, not on the people's residents' property. So we just have some maintenance going on there. Fountains in the pond. The one at the Newcastle Road, called the larger pond, that pump and fountain has been working pretty much all summer long. The one that we've had over the Fireman's Park has not been running, and because of the growth of weeds and things like that are getting stuck into the propellers, into the suction system of the fountain itself. So it took a crazy amount of nut time that you would think why, but 2 months, 2.5 months. But we have a solution moving forward into the springtime. We've made some good friends over in the village of Monroe. They have about 8 or 9 ponds, and they have actually a machine that goes in and cuts these weeds out of the way, and then they're in the process of purchasing new pumps and fountains for their 2 main ponds in the center of the village. So come springtime, we'll be able to help, they'll help us with an operator and a guy. They'll be able to put the boat in water, drive around, cut down the weeds, and do all those kinds of things so that the fountain will work and function, keep the algae down, be good for the fish, be good for the birds, etc.
We spoke about maybe stocking the ponds again next June.
Yep, and I'm a member of Black Rock. I wanted to check out, talking to some of the guys that do a lot of the fishing stuff and do the stocking, and see what kind of fish would be best for these kinds of ponds. Because the kids do fish there still, which is great, and it's a lot of fun for them. We'll also be doing some maintenance, probably spring, or depending on how the fall holds out. Around both ponds, there's a lot of growth, some trees, a lot of weeds, and I'll just call garbage. We're going to be trimming all that stuff down that's on the shoreline, I'll call it, so that it'll be easier for the kids, and actually it'll be nicer to see the water from the road, because a lot of people sit there and they want to look at the pond, but the way this stuff is growing, you really can't see it anymore. So we'll be trimming that stuff down at the shoreline so that people can fish and also observe and just sit and enjoy looking at the water. Let's see. Next, we have a ARB, or Architectural Review Board, which is the village board. We have an application in front of us for a new business that's going to be moving into where Subway is currently located, called the Three Ninjas. And I think, what I remember on the sign, they're gonna have sushi,
Ramen,
ramen,
hibachi.
and hibachi. So, something different, should be nice, you know, and a great addition to the village. So, we'll pass that this evening, if I think everybody had any negative comments on our sign stuff that we're doing, and so we'll get that done. And I want to say, maybe last but not least, is the historical marker ceremony that we did for Dwayne W. Mays on Saturday at 11 o'clock, where they, Jeannie Verswable, our historian, did a lot of work, found grant money from a foundation, and basically paid for the beautiful sign, and it was installed, and we put that in. Actually, we wanted to dedicate it the day of baseball opening day, but it snowed. So this was like the first opportunity in some degree. What made it really kind of special too, we're gonna post some stuff online, was Saturday the 18th was actually his 96th birthday. And he died a young man. He was a really, really good baseball player, as we understand, and was in minor leagues and stuff like that, and had, I want to say, a real, maybe great career in front of him, but he went out hunting with 18 of his friends from Orange County. They went up to the Catskills or Adirondacks, and he unfortunately got shot by mistake in the leg, and by the time they got him to a medical facility, they said the leg had to go. And he said, I came in this world with two legs, I guess, and I'm a ball player, and I'm not going to live with one leg. And he decided to pass. So a young man at the age of 24, you know, his legacy lives on. So, but we'll post some stuff. It's really interesting reading on it. Given.
What's the history of Mays, why it's still under the town and not the village, when it's smack in the middle of the village?
Yeah, you know, that's a good question. We talked about that actually a little bit over the last couple of days. You know, the funny thing is it belonged to the village, and it's my understanding we gave it to the town. Reasons why? Unknown. I really don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. I want to try to dig in and ask Jeannie if she has any idea how that happened and when it happened. But yeah, she's great. She knows so many things, and there's lots of people around here that have great information. You could just sit and talk to them all day about every building in this village, what it did, what it was. It's really cool stuff. So, but we'll check into that. If you make a note on that. Thanks, Michelle. All right. Anything else I want to bring up at this point?
Well, just, the DPW is currently still picking up leaves this week. It can only be leaves in there, nothing else. They will be picking up sticks next week. Another big thing is about putting grass and leaves down the storm drains. It is illegal. If we catch you, we will fine you, because that does interfere with our MS4 projects. And that's the big thing, and we are no longer picking up grass, leaves only and sticks only.
Yeah.
Not much to report, building department, but we did pull in, I believe, the biggest revenues to date since we've been here,
Yeah.
which is over $8,000. It's bi-monthly, so that's 2 weeks of revenue, and that's without inspections. One inspection was done, that's it.
Yeah.
So those fees were pulled in from fire and safety $0, municipal searches $350. It was the permit fees, $7,406. Planning and zoning $250. Total of $8,006.
Bill Graber, Washington Boulevard. This won't be the last leaf pickup, right?
No. We continually do it throughout the year.
Because there's plenty of them still up.
Yeah. You know, it's usually, like we said, the fourth or last week of the month, but, you know, we have a storm, and it's, you know, like we just had the real windstorms and all that good stuff. we'll see the bags and we'll pop out and pick them up.
Good.
Okay. Just to add on to the building department stuff, I'm sure everybody maybe seen some of the other construction things going on downtown. But the TD Bank was purchased. I believe the other bank was purchased as well. I'm not sure if it's completed yet, but it's supposed to be by the same person. The renovations that are going on at TD Bank is going to be a dentistry office.
It's one that's already existing here in the
Right,
village.
he's on South Street currently. He's gonna move his dentistry business there. And it's my understanding the other bank will be a pediatric dentistry. So we'll have both of those buildings. Also down a little bit further, the church is under renovations. That was purchased by another church, I don't remember the name of it offhand, but out of Newburgh. And they're doing the renovations on the outside and doing renovations around the inside. I don't
No,
think it's Buddhist,
no, it's not.
No,
It's, I believe they're Presbyterian, possibly?
yeah, no.
Yeah, I didn't do enough research into it. I saw the name that came across. They're very nice people.
Yeah. And I guess while we're talking about new businesses too, if I may, Guilty Pleasures, who currently is down in the area of VJ Square, happens to be in the old bank, has purchased the corner candle shop and will be relocating their business at some point early next year, hopefully, when it goes well, right? To open up their shop, bakery, and some other things that they want to do. So that's all good stuff that's going on. It's nice to see our storefronts and a lot of activity going on. So it's really good. Really good. Anybody else?
Any questions for building?
See any questions on the buildings?
Sales today were 27.2.
Yes, we were. Excuse me. Okay, on the resolutions. Any more questions? Resolution 12-166, Tilcon State Contract for paving Bristol and Potomac Court at $79,069.10. And this money will be coming from the CHIPS funding. Have a motion?
Motion.
Mark's on the motion, Vernon on the second. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Motion passes 5-0. Resolution 12-167 to approve H2O to use the Village Hall meeting room on November 18th and 19th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for training.
Motion.
Motion, second.
Second.
Questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Resolution 12-168 to approve the assembly food permit for Hudson Valley Volks 5K run at Burn Allen Park on 12/13/2025 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Have a motion?
Motion.
Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Excuse me. Resolution 12169 to close the public hearing to change the sewer rate facility use date. Have a motion?
Motion.
Susan, second.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you very much. Resolution 12170 to authorize Mayor D'Amico to adopt local law amending sewage facilities rent section 140-11 of the Code of the Village of Washingtonville. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second? Steve?
You need a roll call.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a roll call. Have a roll call, Susan?
Yes.
And Vern?
Yes.
And Donna?
Yes.
And Steve?
Yes.
And Tom? Yes. Okay, motion passes 5-0. Thanks very much. Resolution 12171 to approve the sign application for the 3 Ninja restaurant. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Second from Vernon.
Do we want a discussion before we vote? Just.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, if not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Resolution 12172 to change the curfew hour on October 30th and 31st to 8 p.m. Have a motion?
Motion.
Donna, second Brian. Questions, comments? Previous years, this was at 7 o'clock for many years after we had an assault of, I don't know how many kids, remember Brian? But Newcastle was overrun with hundreds of kids. I don't know where they came from. But it was pretty intense. So at that point, we had instituted, from that point on, every year, it's been 7 o'clock. So we found that Blooming Grove had made it 8 o'clock, so we normally try to stay within the same hours of each other, so they're not bouncing back and forth or leaving Blooming Grove to come to Washington or vice versa. So just makes it a little bit of an even keel, and that's really all it is. Any other conversation? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Resolution 12173 to declare the village board intent to become lead agency on the comprehensive
Mayor,
plan.
I think that's wrong. It's the Kazaza zoning amendment petition, not the comprehensive plan.
Oh,
No, I was.
You know, I looked at that too, and
If I gave you the wrong resolution, that's on you.
yeah, I think, So how would you like it to read?
To declare the village board's intent to become lead agency on the Kazaza zoning amendment petition.
okay. Just what he said. Any conversation? All right, all in favor?
Motion.
Yeah.
You wanna do a roll call? All
It's
right, let's do a roll call. Susan?
Yes.
Vernon? Donna?
Aye.
Steve? Yes.
And I also note that under that resolution, the only thing that was wrong with that resolution, now that I look at it, is I just didn't change the title.
Right.
But in the block of the resolution, in the resolved sections, under the new zoning code passed earlier this year, via the resolution, the board is sending this application to the planning/zoning board for its recommendation.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Did you have anything else, Chris?
Yeah, there was that resolution to appoint us counsel for the Kazaza Article 78.
All right, so can I have a motion to appoint
Peter.
Nugent, Fitter, and what's the last one?
Ferrick Nugent McCartney,
McCartney?
PLLC.
Just forget that guy's name. To represent the village in the Kazaza, I'm not calling it a list, we're going to call it
It's an Article 78.
Article 7.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Can I make that motion? Have a second, please?
I'll second that motion.
Susan, second. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Yeah.
passes 5-0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanna know, is he contesting the zoning? You guys are come to an agreement on the Kazaza land? Because I think I asked about this at the last meeting.
So you asked if there had been a notice of claim filed.
No, that, this is, well, that too, but
Yeah.
unrelated to, I think I asked about the comp plan, having made any
So-
decisions on that land.
Vinny, I can take that one.
Sure.
Late last month, the Kazazas completed a petition to change the zoning for their parcel. I don't think they had filed the fee yet, the filing fee as of the last meeting, but they have now. And so the first resolution was to get that process started pursuant to the zoning code. Second, they filed an Article 78 contesting the original comp plan / zoning that was passed earlier
Because
this
when
year.
the original comp plan passed, didn't we
Correct.
pass it?
No, the new one,
The new one,
the one that we passed in June.
Correct, yeah.
The one
Yeah.
that we voted on in June.
didn't we pass it with stipulations with that land to discuss further with the owner?
But what we did was, we said, just because we vote and pass this,
Mhm.
didn't mean that there couldn't be further discussion for rezoning potential. And we did meet, and we did have the conversations.
So
So
they're
no
taking
agreement
it,
was made, basically.
they're taking a two-pronged approach. One, they're suing under Article 78. Two, they're doing a zoning petition in case one fails, the other one might go through.
Okay.
Paul?
So at the last meeting on Resolution 170, the public hearing, we couldn't get any information on particulars on the sewers facilities rent increases. Can we get some details on it now?
There's no increase,
There's
it
no
was just
increase.
adding language to it, which was published with a public notice.
It was public, again, we're going back to the last meeting, the public noticed that there was gonna be a public hearing, but we never saw.
The law was in that public notice, the changes to it. And basically,
Can you give us a synopsis of the
there are
changes?
properties within the village.
And you're not gonna identify.
Right. We didn't last.
We have not yet identified them. Like I said at the last meeting, they will be, when we go to have a motion to exempt them, they will be identified by section, block, and lot, which is the legal description. These are properties that are not connected to our sewer facilities. They do not use them. And in most cases, they never will be able to use them.
Now, going back to it, like we said at the last meeting, when you have a public hearing, the public should have access to a copy of the, not just in the paper, on what page, I'm record? That was it?
Yes, that is the official publication of,
But it should be available at the village hall.
I did not see anybody come in and ask for a copy of it.
We asked at the last meeting, at the public hearing. Just saying. Can I ask another question on the water tanks?
Sure.
You said you were gonna go out and get, put it out to bid to see if we get a better price. Who gave you the quotes that you got? The people that did the inspection?
Correct.
Yes.
Are they
It's
certified to
called,
do the work?
I'm sorry?
Were they certified to do the work?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. No, they're a large company, they have a couple of sister companies, and their main business is water tanks.
It's not like there's
And this was,
a lot out there.
pretty comprehensive, because I've been looking for a previous water inspection report. Now, I think back in 15, 16, there was something, and I'm looking for it, or gonna be calling the engineering firm, but there was supposed to be a report somewhere in that neighborhood from Delaware Engineering, and I'm not sure if they did the inspection or they had another kind of consulting guy do the inspection. But this company was very comprehensive in what they did. Really detailed. So hopefully by next meeting, I'll be able to locate this other document, and just what my concern is that, you know, they recommend doing these inspections every 5 years. So, you know, from the last time, I'm more interested in knowing what, if there were any problems, what were they, and were any of these things fixed? Because H2O came in, I think, 17, 16, somewhere in there, and that was sewer, and then they jumped, and then they had water, like the year after or something like that. Because their contract's coming up in February of '26, so we're gonna be in the process of negotiating that contract, and also looking out there through various websites and some other ways to get other companies to potentially bid on doing water and sewer within the village of Washingtonville, so we can get, you know, maybe a better price, be more price competitive, et cetera. I mean, H2O has done a really good job, but at the end of the day, it's all about the money. So if we can find somebody cheaper, and they're reliable and well, you know, respected, then, you know, the board will have to make that decision, because remember, it's not only the lowest, but it's the most responsible. So, we've had low bids and had very bad recommendations, and usually at that point, right, we go up the wrong up the ladder one rung, and then we go with the second highest, and or the second lowest, and then we go out and we check their references to make sure that they're reliable and a good company. So
Right.
we'll be down that alley. Yep.
Going back to the, Susan, do you still have a copy of that resolution that I can get now that we passed it? Because if you look at the resolution to close the public hearing, somebody reading this, it says to close the public hearing to change the sewer rates.
Rents,
Rates, it says here.
then that's a
Facility,
typo.
facility use fee.
It should be rents, if that's a typo.
Okay, well, it says to change the sewer rent, if you wanna put that. So somebody reading that, what do they assume? You never see sewer rents go down. You know what I'm saying? The way it's written here.
Listen, I'm just not
Yeah.
arguing with you here, it's right here if you would like it.
All right, I'll pick it up on the way up. The other thing is on paving on North Street, Tom, since that's gonna go into the next fiscal year,
Mm-hmm.
and they approved the additional $100,000
Yep,
at that other meeting,
yep.
is that gonna affect the monies for the paving
No,
going into the next fiscal year?
nope. We actually had a conversation with who we talked to today? We talked to the firm, the legal, and we went through a questionnaire that needed to be filled out, and one of the questions were, how long will it take for this work to be completed? And calendar timeline has nothing to do with the effectiveness of the bond. So we can take that money, put it in a high interest account for the winter time, let the nest grow, and then when we need it, we'll pull it out and we'll pave. Anybody else? Anything from the board? All right, we do need executive on personnel. So if I may, have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion to go to executive.
Second?
Second,
All in favor?
I
Thank you very much, everybody. No decisions. We